What's up, everybody? So it looks like we finally got those easy build kits up for pre-order, and therefore you could say up to just order pretty much soon. They're coming out soon. And with that said, I want to give a little thought on that. So it's more than I thought they were going to release right away. The way they made it sound was we are going to get the Rivers first, and then maybe a Death Guard with it, and then further kits to follow. And I'm sure there's still further kits to follow, but what they've released are Primaris Rivers, Primaris Intercessors, which is what I would have led off with personally, and then Death Guard Pox Walkers and Plague Marines. These are 4 easy to build kits. What that means is they are snap fit, no glue required, very easy to put together. If you look how they go together, it's very simplistic, which means they basically are meant to go together one specific way. The pose that you see is the pose that they're expected to be built in. And while you could do some potential changing of the look of things, that's not the intent of these kits. With that said, for the Marine stuff, the Plague, Marines, Intercessors, and Arrivers, their heads are separate from the body, so you could do a helmet swap pretty easily if you wanted to. Outside of that, though, the detail is nice on them, and I'm really pleasantly surprised by the price point. $15 US for these kits each, and you get 6 Poxwalkers and the rest are 3-man kits, is not bad in my opinion, considering you can buy something just called Space Marines. It's a box just called Space Marines that makes 3 plastic Space Marines that snap fit together. They're very bare bones and basic. They're basically from the 4th ed starter set in a way, if you could say. So they're $10, and they don't have the detail that Primaris or the Death Guard have on them, or the more organic posing and whatnot. So really, I think these are a better buy. You're getting more quality. Yes, $5 more expensive, but you're getting much cooler looking stuff. Now, obviously, you have to play one of these two forces. You have to either use Primaris and use Space Marine stuff, or you gotta be Death Guardy, right? But not bad. And I'm interested to see what they're going to produce in the future for easy to build kits. What other potential Chaos or Imperial stuff, and then what Xenos things. That would be pretty interesting. Anyways, the sprue are colored, so blue for Primaris, green for Death Guard, and that doesn't even matter because you're going to paint over them and it's just fine. But for some reason, the interwebs really had a buzz about the colored sprue. It's really not that big of a deal. If anything, it'll help you identify easy to build snap fit style kits. So, if you're looking at them in bits format or whatnot. So, really not the biggest of deals, but it was mentioned a lot on the interwebs, surprisingly. At least a lot for that topic, really. I think the Intercessors look great. The Death Guard and the Poxwalker, the Plague Marines and the Poxwalkers look hideous, but in a good way, the way that's intended. I think they're getting a little too, I want to say, animated or almost cartoony in a way with the look of the chaos, corruption, and whatnot. But it's not too far. But I definitely, even though it's not something that I would be collecting to begin with, it's definitely something I look at and I go, okay, we're potentially approaching a precipice. And that hasn't happened yet, but it definitely could in the future. The Rivers, I like their models overall. I like the helmets. Chaplains, again, are identified. Well, I shouldn't say again. Chaplains are identified by their Crozius or Canum as their badge of office. They wear a skull helmet out of tradition, but it's not a necessity. So really, having a skull helmet elsewhere isn't a big deal. I don't like the Mad Max half mask skull thing, and their shin armor is weird. Just having their shin armor the way it is weird to me. But outside of that, looking pretty good. I do like the Rivers. They don't fit to my play style, really, so I probably wouldn't ever actually field them personally, unless I had a specific plan for them to kind of synergize with something. But off the bat, not what I would first look into. The Intercessors look good. I personally wouldn't buy these easy to build kits, not because they're bad. I mean, if you're planning to collect Primaris or Death Guard, this is a good way to bolster your troops a bit for cheap. But it's because the shoulder pads are attached to the arms, and I have specific things in mind, and I have a plan specifically for collecting some Primaris actually, and I have a shoulder pad in mind I'm going to be using on these guys specifically, and therefore anything with the shoulder pad sculpted onto it, like in this case for everything, is kind of a no-no for me. It's not something I want to deal with and try and grind down to put a shoulder pad over it. So as cool as they are, I'm going to wait for the multi-part plastic kits that I definitely feel more confident are coming. When I first heard about the easy to build kits and I saw the Rivers as an example of it, I had a little bit of a concern that this might be the only way we're getting these guys. But seeing that it's them, Plague Marines, Poxwalkers, and Intercessors, which are kind of like your tactical Marines for Primaris in a way, I feel more confident that in the future we should be seeing multi-part plastic kits, more traditional style kits for these guys. And this is just really to get your feet wet if you're brand new to the hobby or you want to bolster your forces on the cheap. So, not bad overall. With that, they've also announced the open war cards, which are interesting. What I find pretty interesting, however, is the No Fear and First Strike starter sets. These things are pretty interesting because it really is a, you could say a multi-purpose box set. In fact, part of the box, it can be used as terrain to game on to get started, which is actually a pretty cool idea, and I like that. And the deals you get on these things really aren't that bad. You get models, of course, and I do believe you get a gaming mat. At least in First Strike, I know you get a 2x2 gaming mat, which doesn't sound like much, but hey, that's pretty cool. It's better than nothing. It's better than just gaming on top of a table, bare bones. And they're always cool to have, and I believe you get a 2x4 gaming mat with No Fear, so that's cool. Now, No Fear basically is like a Dark Imperium light. All the sprues are blue, but they're basically really similar to the sprues, if not identical. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison of the sprue you're getting in Dark Imperium, only they're blue for Primaris and green for the Death Guard, and I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps they continue that trend and in future Dark Imperium box sets that's what you got. But as I understand it now, still that's not the case with Dark Imperium. Dark Imperium still has the gray sprue, so there's that if that's something you really care about. But yeah, No Fear basically is like a mini version of that. It's lacking lieutenants, for example, for the Primaris. And for the Death Guard, it's lacking, I believe, like the Guide the Bell, and I think something else. So, not a bad amount of stuff you're getting for the price point. Plus, you get, a gaming mat, which is always fun to have. And even though the box isn't the greatest terrain piece, if you're getting started, it's cool to game on that than have a tablecloth covering a textbook. So, that's cool. First Strike is a really good deal. No Fear is $80. First Strike is $40 because First Strike is basically easy to build Plague Marine stuff and Poxwalkers, one box of each, and an easy to build Intercessor and River box each. So you're basically getting one of each of the new easy to build stuff together with a 2x2 gaming mat, like I mentioned, and a tray inside the box designed to look like terrain. So, again, not bad. Considering the price point of this starter set, I think if you can find a buddy to go halvesies in, if you don't, or adjust it accordingly a little bit, if you don't care about the box or the mat or the terrain or anything, this is a really good deal. Even if you can find somebody who wants one half and you want the other half, and you just go dead even down the middle, you'd be saving $10 to get each of those easy to build kits if you want both, for example. So, not a bad deal. And considering together the 4 kits are $60, and then you're getting a mat and stuff on top of that, $40 really isn't a bad deal. So, not bad at all. But yeah, that's a pretty cool thing that I wasn't really expecting them to do on top of the easy to build stuff, to be honest. I heard talk of it, but I wasn't sure exactly what it would be. And it's just further ways to get involved. What I would like to see in the future is some Xenos easy to build stuff, and then some First Strike style starter sets for Xenos. So you could be Xenos versus Death Guard, or Xenos versus Primaris, or if you get Necron and Tau and Eldar and all of them that have some easy to build kits, you can have a starter set be Eldar versus Necrons or something. I would like to see that. Now, I don't know how well stuff like that would sell in comparison to Chaos versus Imperium, but it would just be nice to see. I think some Xenos fans out there would get a kick out of it, and I think it could sell decent. So, again, one of those things where time would tell, and you would have to try it to see. But anyways, I've been rambling on long enough, so pleasantly surprised by these easy to build kits. I wasn't doubting the quality because snap fit stuff has been looking good for a long time. It was more so the price point that I was kind of wondering on, and the price point that they are advertising, I have to say, is really, I think, a job well done there. So, not bad stuff. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do for easy to build in the future, as well as looking forward to these easy to build kits getting their full-blown multi-part plastic kits like I really do foresee them getting. When will be a different story. Anyways, that's it. So what are your thoughts on the easy to build kits, those box sets and the like? Share it in the comment section. Until next time, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, leave it in the comment section, and take it easy.